Call this meeting to order. Piqua City Commission regular meeting Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. Let's begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Vetter?
Here.
Commissioner Simmons?
Here.
Mayor Lee?
Here.
Commissioner Homan?
Present.
Commissioner DeBras?
Here. First on our agenda is a presentation from the Fire Training Committee.
Ooh, yeah.
How did they get turned around?
You can turn that around.
Is the mic on? Yeah, it's on.
Just move it towards you. Move it towards the center there, yeah.
Good evening. My name is David Roth, Chair of the Fire Training Committee. We just had a statement that we were going to present tonight. On behalf of the Fire Committee, Joe, Jim, and Jerica, I would like to officially inform you, the Commission, that we have made the difficult decision to temporarily suspend our current activities effective August 13th. This decision was not made lightly. After careful evaluation, we have determined that several key factors are limiting our ability to effectively fulfill our mandate at this time. The primary reason is the existing threat of litigation and potentially becoming entangled in a civil suit filed against those people and entities that were involved in the decision-making process to allow the battery burning to occur at the fire training facility. We are citizen volunteers who simply wanted to help our city during a period when so many questions were being asked of our elected officials. The threat of litigation has also caused us to question the sustainability of the committee's work under such circumstances when civil litigation is a fact-finding process. We want to thank several people. We appreciate the dedication of all the citizens who have regularly appeared at all of our meetings. We would also like to thank Nancy Roof, whose work has helped us in obtaining important records. We also appreciate the support and assistance of city officials, including our hiring of special counsel. His work was essential and invaluable to us. If the Commission has no objection, our goal is to reconvene when these challenges have been addressed, and we believe that there is no threat of being involved in any litigation. As always, we greatly appreciate the support of the Piqua community. Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions.
Just the only question is, did you send us explanations as to the overage cost for the attorney fees?
We can do that. I can absolutely do that, yeah.
All right, because we want to get them paid,
Right,
obviously.
right,
so.
right.
And I know there are explanations for it, so
Yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah, we can absolutely put that in a document and send it over to you.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else?
I have one question, but a statement first. And my statement is more of thank you all for being willing to accept this call. We came up with the idea of putting this committee together. You all stepped forward. We didn't come get you. You all applied and were willing to be chosen to do this. I understand the amount of time, effort, and work that has gone into this. So I'm starting first with thank you. My question is more on clarification point. Just so we're clear, this decision was made amongst the committee and your council and had nothing to do with anyone sitting up here behind this dais.
That's correct.
Thank you. That's all.
I just want to thank you guys for the time and effort and hard work that you put into it. despite what everybody's tried or said or done to you. So thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And I'll add thank you as well, though the words themselves hardly carry the meaning that I would want to convey to you. The effort that you guys put into this was tremendous, and it is beyond appreciated by myself and by the Piqua community at large.
Yep. All right, thank you, guys. Next on our agenda is a motion to approve the business agenda. And before we do that, I want to read, the City Commission values and relies on the input of our fellow citizens to make decisions for the public on city-related issues or both agenda and non-agenda items. When making comments, please direct them to the commission as a whole and not individual members of the commission or staff. There is time to offer comments after each agenda item and a public comment section at the end of today's meeting to address issues not on today's agenda. If you wish to speak tonight during agenda items, please fill out the public comment card. Once the agenda item is before the commission, wait until I recognize you and then come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Please be mindful that commission wants to hear from everyone who wishes to speak, so each individual is limited to 5 minutes of time per agenda item. There is a timer on the monitor that will help you keep track of your time. Please note the City Commission will not respond directly to the questions during the public comment because it's your time. However, we're taking notes, and whatever question you have, we will address them to the city staff when the agenda topic is discussed or referred. Motion to approve the business agenda, the rules of conduct.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Approval of the minutes from the July 15th, 2025 regular City Commission meeting. Approval of the minutes from the August 4th, 2025 executive session. And resolution number R-98-25, a resolution of appreciation for public service of Joy D. Davis as a city employee.
Is Joy here? No, okay. I worked with Danny for many years, and she was great to work with, and I'm glad that she can retire and enjoy her family. So, any comments on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a comment.
Go right ahead.
I would like to apologize for my absence, which was quite noticeably unexcused at the executive session on Monday, August 4th. The last email that I saw concerning a future meeting was from Ms. Hughes, dated on August 1st, and she stated that we had previously scheduled a meeting for that day, but it was canceled. I did not see my city email on Monday, and I noticed later that there was no mention of the meeting in any other emails, like sending out an agenda, between the time of the meeting request that was issued and the time that the meeting occurred. Rest assured, this will never happen ever again. I will be right here in this seat for every meeting, even if it means missing my wife's memorial service. And we'll try and schedule around you, honey, okay? Thank you.
Any other comments for the consent agenda?
I would move the approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now on to old business. Ordinance number O-9-25, a first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This was placed on the table some time ago. Every year, American Legal Public. My apologies. Still not.
Staticky.
Your microphone?
Do you want to read what the ordinance is?
An ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinance for the City of Piqua.
So the commission put this on the table some time ago. Every year, American Legal Publishing drafts and stores and edits city ordinances. So as they're supplemented, as they're revised, they have a database. Typically, it's updated annually. That update hasn't occurred for the last few years. So before you is kind of a wholesale supplement and update for American Legal, I believe for 23, 24, and 25. Most of the revisions and modifications are minor. There's a list of them in the packet, as well as a Excel spreadsheet database that outlines exactly what was amended and why. At the commission's request, it was tabled in order to get that information, and we have that for you tonight.
All right. Public comment. Kim Eisler.
You guys turned this around. Am I supposed to be talking to these?
Turn around. You can turn it around. I didn't. But if you want to turn it around, you can.
Yeah, that's okay. Kim Heisler. A couple questions on this, and you said it yourself. It's been 2 to 3 years, since 22, I think. We've had plenty of time. And why now does it become an emergency after it's been like years? Can it take its regular progression forward? And then secondly, is why aren't we following these codes and the charters to begin with? If you guys maybe could answer that, write that down and get that answered, that would be great. Because I don't understand why you have a charter and codes if you don't follow them. And certainly, if you don't update them in a timely manner, we as citizens don't really know. And it's very difficult to follow what's going on. And as it is, the latest update, I think the state's is still a year old. And our local level is like March, updated as of March. So it's still behind, but it's unacceptable to have the codes and not follow them.
It's your time.
Yeah, I know it is. I just wish you guys would actually do your jobs. And if you're not, I know it's not you guys' jobs, but it's your jobs to be on those guys to do it right, because it all comes down to you guys. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, in response to that, I was new last year, and I had known that we had several important ordinances and resolutions that were passed, and I thought perhaps I could go check those online where they were published at a few weeks or months later, and was surprised to find that they weren't published yet. It being, late into the 2020s, I figured we had the technology to update those a little faster. I had requested, as you pointed out, Ms. Heisler, that yes, we should be updating those frequently, and I had asked for that last year and been assured that it was going to get done around this time last year. That did not happen, and I'm thankful to our new council that is taking that with the urgency that it needs to have, because you're right, it is a little bit complicated when citizens go look at the ordinances and the charter, and it's severely out of date. So I'm very thankful that we are going to be able to recommend or resolve that tonight by getting it updated.
All right. Next, David Smith, public comment. Can you state your name and your address?
You just did. It's David Smith, and you're not getting an address. I'm wondering, since I talked to you guys, you guys had more than 30 days. Did any of you read the settlement agreement you had with us?
Can you stay on topic, sir?
This is part of the topic.
The topic is for the
You
ordinance.
violated a federal agreement. That right there is one of the violations. Last week, my address was a problem. This week, it's not. One, who are you to ask other people where I live? What business is it of yours, Mr. Lee, to ask people who ain't no relation to me, have no control over me, where I fucking live? I don't want to hear it. Why are you doing that? Don't even start looking around talking. It's my time. You listen to me.
It is your time, so keep talking.
That's supposed to be 7 minutes.
No,
Don't
it's
keep
5
interrupting.
minutes.
Yes, it is. Federal agreement says 7 minutes.
For
Read
public
it.
comment
This is public comment.
in the business agenda.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't. You don't even follow half the rules you're supposed to.
Okay.
Have you guys ever voted on getting rid of anything doing with that man over there? You shouldn't even be having up here for nothing, because I don't even think he's legally supposed to be doing the stuff he's doing. Have you guys gotten rid of the residency requirement yet? Nobody has a set. Have you gotten rid of the residency requirement for the people of Piqua to come in here and voice their grievances to y'all?
This
Yes or
ordinance-
no?
This ordinance is about.
You're in
the
violation of a
ordinance
federal
enacted.
agreement. I suggest you lose the attitude.
I suggest you stay on topic, or I'll ask you to sit down.
And I'll drag you back into court
Please
again.
do.
I'm going to, trust me. The attitude you guys have with the people that live in this city is disgusting. It's disgusting. You want them to follow these BS ordinances that you can't even keep track of. You enforce ones you can't find.
Mr. Smith, you're disrupting the commission.
Mr. Lee, I'm not disrupting Jack. This is
You
public
are.
comment during my time. You're
But you're not
disrupting
on
me.
topic, so stay on
I
topic.
don't have to stay on topic.
You do.
No, I don't. I'm trying to figure out why you guys do what you do. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're not benefiting anyone out here. Now, everybody here knows you guys have been sued by me and Alicia and everybody else. They know there's a federal agreement. You guys have never read it. He has, and lied to you about it. Have you read the agreement, yes or no? I'd take that as a no. You should all be ashamed of yourselves, and anyone that comes up here to speak to you should speak to you the way you deserve to be treated. This is disgusting. The fact that you guys sit up here and abuse the people that pay you to represent them.
Do you have any
And then
comment
you
on the ordinance?
Yeah, your ordinance sucks ass. Your ordinances suck.
Okay.
Anything you do
On
with
this
that
one?
man there is, trust me, illegal, guaranteed. You guys have no power here. I don't see why we have to talk to you, because that's the man that runs this town, not you guys. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I suggest all of you quit.
Thank you. You've had one warning, though. All right. Hey, why is it an emergency at this point?
I believe it was drafted as an emergency, as a catch-up, so that everything was up to date and implemented.
So we're severely behind, though, right?
I believe it goes back to 23, sir.
Will this update get us as close to being current, or are we still going to be behind?
So my general understanding was that this was a process that was done at some point at the beginning of every calendar year. At some point, that stopped happening. The goal was to catch up as best we could. And then effective January, February, whenever AmLaw came back with those new revisions, we would just kind of go back on track.
So
Did
we
I
can look
understand
forward
cor-
to one of these, but not as extensive in January.
That's the hope. I mean, subject to how much has changed or how many
Right.
new ordinances and supplements there are, correct?
Okay.
Did I understand that this legislation was initially tabled, and so to act on this tonight, we'll first have to?
No, it was untabled, wasn't it?
Is
I
it
don't think there's
tabled?
been a motion to remove it from the table. It would need to be removed from the table.
Was
and
it
voted
not
upon.
removed from the table?
I don't think we voted to do that yet.
Okay.
We can do it again.
We
if
can do it
did.
again if we have to.
And I know Kim has been in contact with AmLaw regarding the specifics of timing and things like that. So I believe that's the process moving forward. It's the beginning of every year. This will be updated. That update will be smaller.
Great.
Mayor, for the sake of the record, I would motion that we remove ordinance O-9-25 from the table for consideration tonight.
I second that motion.
Motion to remove it from the table has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Off the table now.
See, it's not going to take that long.
What's that?
I said, see, it's not going to take that long.
Right, great. You're right. All right, so motion to approve ordinance number O-9-25.
Have we exhausted comment?
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. It's on ordinance, so I need a roll call.
Is this not just the first reading?
This is first reading.
Or
Commissioner
are we-
DeBras is correct.
First reading? Okay.
Or are we waiving?
I do not believe that we are waiving. Okay.
Nope, then it's first reading.
Okay.
We'll move on to ordinance number O-10-25, a third reading.
An ordinance to amend Title 15 Land Usage Piqua Development Code.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. This is the third reading of ordinance O-1025, an ordinance that is amending our development code. There are no changes from the second reading, and if you will recall, after the first reading, there were modifications to the fence section, but this is primarily creating a section 2.10, plan development districts within our development code, which can be used for future development or existing if they determine they want to rezone into that potential option that is now available to them. Again, there are no changes to this proposed language. It has been the same for all the readings, and this is the third reading. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
We'll do public comment first. Kim Heisler?
I think you pull back on it maybe
Here.
for the wheels.
Let me help. My OCD's.
You probably want to spin it the other way. Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, she can reset her time. on this.
Yeah, reset her time.
Yeah, spin it that way. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
I thank you. My OCD thanks you.
Check, see the microphone's still on.
Yeah. The mic's still working?
Yep.
All right.
Kim Heisler. A question, I know I've brought this up each time, you guys. And I know you're talking about the PDR and the PDR MUD, the new codes that's put in for businesses that have large areas to have mixed use on that area. I'd asked a couple of times prior if there was any reason why now was the case that we're bringing it up out of all times. And the answer was no, there's nothing at all. My question is, why then does everybody else know about what's happening at the Piqua Center area where there's going to be apartments or something going to be going up? It apparently has been in the plans sometime, yet I don't understand how you can say that there's no reason, and it's only because we're behind and we want to be like all the other cities around. So it's frustrating for me to hear that there's no plans, but everybody else and their brother says, yeah, there's been plans in the pipeline for a long time. I'd also like to say, in the previous ordinance, I'm addressing my grievance here, in the previous ordinance, you guys changed the code. I'm to address you guys. I'm talking about the things that matter to me, and most likely other people in the community. When I come up here and talk, you guys are most all looking at me now. When I came up earlier, you guys were looking down, looking everywhere else.
I was writing your questions down, by the way.
Do you
but go
know
ahead.
how, but you hardly ever looked up. Do you know how demeaning it is to be able to talk about a problem and see other people maybe writing it down? And I know Frank does a lot, but at the same time, you need to make that. I don't feel like you guys give a rip. I feel like you were told to come up here, don't say a word. We'll write your things down. We'll talk to the city about it, and then we'll get back to you. I've asked before. Questions have not gotten back to me. They've not gotten an agenda packet. And when you guys go to the city, it's like there's still only one person making a choice and a decision and the answer. You guys need to be a part of this and understand what is really happening here. Sure, you're sitting up there listening. You all got ears, you can hear. But taking action is really what makes real leaders, and that's what you guys need to do. So, I mean, it's frustrating to look up here and you guys are like doing everything else, and city manager over there, you're texting. It's just really frustrating, because while I'm speaking, and you guys are hearing, it'd be nice to have action taken, so that's, and back on the thing where everybody else knows about it. I mean, can you guys even acknowledge that it's been out there, that there's something in the pipeline that's going to be happening at Piqua Center that's going to have apartments and stuff out there? I mean, it's hard to believe, you guys, when you say one thing and you hear something else and you see proof in writing that it's been planned for a long time. It's just, it's very hard to, anyways, thank you guys.
David Smith. He waits. Was there any reason, this is for city staff to answer her question, was it in the original planning for there to be housing out there?
No, and that is obviously a specific development. I'd address, I guess, the plan development concept first. Staff has been working on this for a little over 8 months. As everyone is aware, this went in front of the Planning Commission in June, and that was a public meeting. I would anticipate, just to be as transparent as we can, that we will have multiple developers in town utilizing this language the second that it goes into place. Because it is something that does not exist in Piqua and has not existed, and it does exist in almost every other city in the area. So developers are familiar with that, and it's very likely, I would imagine, quickly after this gets adopted, if it does, it would be requested as a rezoning for multiple within the community. As for, that specific development, there are obviously ongoing conversations with developers all the time. There are no plans that have been submitted that are able to be reviewed or discussed. And when they are submitted and reviewed and discussed, that will go in front of the Planning Commission in a public meeting where there can be comments and anything can be addressed if there are issues.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
If I may. Kyle, you hit on something that I'd like to make a little bit even clearer. Just because a developer or a development company has plans or phases of a project that they would like to see done doesn't necessarily mean that the city is aware of those or those plans have been submitted to the city in a manner in which we are to move forward with that project. Basically, what I'm getting at is just because a developer has a plan that has 5 or 6 phases sitting on their shelf, it doesn't become known to the city or a city official city document until they actually submit them to us as if we are ready to move forward with that phase.
Correct. There's conversations that occur all the time about development potential, and I would not lie and say that there's not development potential all over Piqua. We are blessed to be in a community that has a lot of interest in all of our development potential, but development potential is not a development. A development is an application, whether that's a zoning permit or a permit to our planning commission to actually build something. Prior to that, it is just a dream. And until it is not a dream, it is not something that, the city is going to discuss until it actually is applied for. And there's something physical that we can put our hands on and say, this is what's happening.
Well, let's take this a step further. After that application is submitted and it is agreed to or signed off by the city, that still does not mean, correct, that that development will ultimately come to fruition. There are several points along the process in which that development could halt, could pause, could fail. They could resubmit plans to change.
Or they may not be able to fund it in the environment that we exist. That is correct. There are a lot of different touch points where things can change. But all of that, and I think that what the important part here is public. The application for the permit is public. The planning commission meeting has a public portion to it, which then would be recommended to this board for their final approval, which would have additional public comment available to it. So it is not something that the city hides. We are very clear when a development comes forward and is going through our process. We wish to have that process be as transparent as we can make it.
And one last point of clarification, and then I will yield back, Mayor, is, so based off of this, it is my understanding that you, nor anyone in your department, are submitting changes to the code based off of conversations you may or may not have had with developers.
No, but I will be honest that I believe this code will get used by developers. So when and if and when, it's more like when, this code, if it were in place, when we see the rezoning applications come forward, I don't want it to be a surprise. I believe very strongly we have at least 2 developers right now who are very interested in using this language if it is approved. So I don't think we want to say that's not true, but to say that the code was changed because of that is not true. The code was being changed when it was made aware that this was happening. There was additional interest and things moved in a different direction. So again, I think it's a process that happens when you become public. So in June, when we made it public that we were trying to change the code, that is when a lot of the conversations, if there were any final conversations, they have not happened yet. So again.
And this change will make our community more friendly for developers.
It is a competitive piece. So there, again, I want to be clear, there is no obligation for anyone to use this language. There is none. No existing developer, no residential person, nobody has to do this. It is an option. We are creating an option for someone to be able to use to allow them to be more flexible and create development that works for the development community. There's 2 options, whether that's residential or whether that's a mixed use option, which allows them to be a little more flexible in their code. And again, there's no obligation of anybody. If they want to use this, it's an option available to them.
Thank you.
All right. Good.
So, I gotta say, I like this for one reason, and well, not just one reason, but the fact that it has planned in it. This is for, all of our other zoning is for, this is what we're doing, right? This is for what we're going to do. And yes, it helps out developers, but it also helps out these folks when someone applies for this zoning and they can go look out and someone says, well, what are they gonna do with that? Well, they got this as a, planned residential district. And they'll go, oh, okay, so we're keeping our public informed as well as being able to help out our developers. So-
Absolutely.
I think your mention of the word flexibility is key for my decision on this. The zoning code is typically a way for cities to control what is allowed to be built, and in a lot of ways that overregulates the market and pushes away potential opportunities in building and businesses and residential. So this is a way of loosening those restrictions. While it is adding a new zone, it is a new zone which offers additional flexibility and releases some of that regulation that we have over the community.
Any other comment from commission? I will accept the motion.
Mayor, I would motion that we adopt ordinance O-10-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Vedder,
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons,
Aye.
Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Hellman,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBras.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is new business, ordinance number O-11-25, a first reading.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 32, Boards and Commissions.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. This ordinance would amend Chapter 32 of the Piqua Code in regards to boards and commissions. What we're trying to accomplish here are really several things. One is just to make the language for each board and commission consistent. When we were reviewing this chapter, we noted that items that are common for each board and commission were kind of all over the place in the language. So we made it standard in that regard, so it's easy to find the different elements for each board or commission. We also then are proposing to remove outdated language, including the section regarding the health board, which is no longer needed. And we were also proposing to combine the energy board with the utility board. The goal there is to streamline activities that are related to all of the utilities in the city and provide more streamlined and consistent recommendations to the City Commission in regards to city utilities. In addition, this ordinance does remove the resolutions that created the Diversity Committee. This was something that the committee brought forward, their desire to have that committee be a citywide committee, not a committee just of the Piqua City Commission, but to be more inclusive and representative throughout the city. And I know the mayor has worked very closely with the members of that group to ensure that that continues to happen.
Any comments from, Jonathan Wessel. Public comment first.
Evening, Commission. Jonathan Wessel, 1820 Eagles Lake Drive. I had one question. I do agree most of these changes are pretty mundane and just kind of clarifying some wording. But the current charter requires that the Energy Board provide this body an annual report, and also includes language that they are to tour the power system at least once per year. That requirement has been removed. Just curious as to if that was intentional. And I did notice specific to the report to this body that requirement was not removed for the park board. So it seemed very specific to this new energy board. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, I'll ask about that. Thanks, Jonathan. David Smith.
May have stepped out.
He stepped outside. I'll give him a minute. Is that this one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's move on to Soleil Larkson.
Having attended several of the meetings here.
Name and address, please.
I think you already said my name, and the address is written on that piece of paper.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so, and with the retaliation that happens in this city, I would really recommend that you guys take that requirement off. We are to write it down, and that means that those people and the people listening in, if there's a whack job out there, they cannot know our immediate address without consulting something. And that retaliation has been real. 4 people were trespassed that were unlawfully and illegally trespassed. So what that means is retaliation is a felony offense. So I want to be really clear that I'm not willing to be the victim
Okay.
of a
Can you talk
felony.
about this ordinance, please?
Yeah, I would like to.
Thank you.
Okay, so this ordinance, I attended several of the board meetings before this ordinance has come up. One of them was the records retention, and they don't allow for public comment at all, at a public meeting. This needs to change. You guys should be on top of this. All the boards and commissions, this language doesn't make anything happen. The employees of the city have to be well-trained. In trying to get the oath of office, the clerk of court does not know where things are. She responded that it was in HR. I'm sorry. It's legally in the charter to be maintained in the clerk's office. These boards and commissions have to be properly trained. It is your jobs. You're elected to be the city's voice, the city's eyes, the city's ears, and the city's auditors. You are supposed to know what's going on with that group over there. If you don't know and you just comply with what Paul Obendorfer, the city manager, tells you to do, you're puppets. And if it's proven in writing, which a lot of us have evidence showing that to be the case, you guys have been asked several times now to step down. None of you have taken us up on that. And I hope you realize, when the people move forth with evidence, we don't just get you to step down. If you're complicit to the illegal activities of the city that we have evidence of, you go down with them. You are named not in just a money suit. You're named in a criminal suit, and you will go to jail. So I just want to make sure you're clear about that, because you don't seem to be clear about that. So the board and commission, when records retention did not allow us to make public comment, that's against the sunshine laws. That's a violation of the law. You don't seem to care. Sunshine law violations are violations. You guys run these meetings with Robert's rules. Robert's rules aren't lawful. They're not lawful. Sunshine laws are lawful. And the people's interpretation of the sunshine laws are lawful. That's it. Robert's rules, not lawful. If we're going to go with this board and commission update at all, which I don't recommend, because there's already violations by the city that have happened time and time and time again against the people, with the Records Retention Board, with the Energy Board, with other boards, where Amy Walker was at that meeting. She said, we don't take public comments. We don't have to take public comments. Really? Wow. Violation of law right out of her mouth. I have a recording. Not hard to prove in court. Not hard at all. Show the recording, show her face, done. Okay? People are tired. You've broken the peace. Make sure you're very, very, very careful about the lawful interpretation of what's being presented to you by your people that work for the city. They don't work for you. They don't work for you. The law office is a conflict of interest. They report to the city manager. That means they do his bidding. And unless they have strong will to do the right thing, they don't want to cost themselves a job. They have a family. They have new babies. They have bills to pay. They're afraid of him. He fired 10 people when he first got here. That doesn't usually happen in government. So if you think this boards and commissions is going to get the job done to just put some fancy language on a piece of paper, you guys haven't even done anything to remove Obendorfer from office for his 1,484 misdemeanors that carry a $500 charge per misdemeanor. He owes the city $700,000 right now, and you guys have done nothing. That means you're complicit in the crime. Just so you know. Just want to be really clear that you've heard me as well as everybody in the community. This is not okay. You're complicit. We're giving you one more chance. We've come to you 4 times now. Will you step down for breaking the law and going along with lawbreakers? This is your last chance.
Thank you for your time's up. Kim Heisler.
Kim Heisler. That's kind of hard to follow. And I agree with every bit of it, every word she said. Okay, so my question on this, in getting rid of or rewriting the diversity committee into a citywide established committee. The way it's written here is really interesting. It sounds like, hey, you know, the community can get involved. You know, bits and pieces of us can get involved. But if you read a little bit further, it says that you're changing it from diversity to citywide establishment committee to preserve federal funding. It's like, why do we have to have federal funding to have a group come together of the citizens to actually find out what's happening and create something great for the community. It looks like it's not for the people, but it's just to preserve your funding. So it's like not a good message to see. Thank you.
Any comments from commissioners?
I would just like to state for my view on the comment about the tour of the energy system versus the tour of the parks. It would be my preference that we don't have tours of the energy system to start with. That's a national security concern, especially in the current environment. The park system is not nearly the security concern that would be with the energy system. Energy systems nationally have been identified by Congress as a very high-risk area. So the concern about having citizens walking around in those high-risk areas, or potentially people posing as citizens walking those high-risk areas, I just don't see it as a value add to the committee as much as it is a potential security concern for the city and for Ohio and the country.
Any other comments from commissioners? This is a first reading. We'll leave it as such. Moving on to ordinance number O-12-25, a first reading.
An amended ordinance to make appropriations for the City of Piqua, Ohio for the year 2025.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This ordinance changes the appropriations in several funds for different reasons. We've outlined those reasons in the staff report, and I'll take any questions that the commission has about the ordinance.
Kim Heisler, public comment first.
My question is basically, at the end of this, it says declaring an emergency. So is it really an emergency?
This one is not. This is the appropriation ordinance.
12.
Sorry,
This one's 12.
sorry, my bad. I did have a question, but I have to form it differently, and So, last meeting, I had asked a question about the 4 different things that was in the appropriations. I think like the monastery fund, the golf, I think the hotel was in there. There was 4 different things that I was asking about. And I know you guys had responded back that, hey, it's just an estimation. And my comment was, in order to have it put forward or to set some aside, you have some ideas of what is going to be used for that appropriation. In looking at this, it didn't seem like the numbers that actually came through this time were the numbers that were there last time. They're significantly less. And my question is, why is that? Because last time it was a presentation, this time it's actually written down. Is it that it has changed and have you removed things, or is it that you're just going to present them later because it's fresh in our mind now? That's my question. Thank you.
David Smith.
Might be down there smoking the whole path.
Nah, he was on the phone. Now it's
Oh.
up there. I saw him. Commission, you have any questions? Can you answer her question? Well, why are the numbers less?
Sure. So the ordinance that was, or resolution was brought last time was actually the tax budget, and that was an estimated, like a draft ordinance for 2026. So that was just to provide the tax budget to the county tax commission to set our rates. That really has nothing to do with this ordinance or this appropriation. So this appropriation adjusts the 2025 budget, which is actually the ordinance that was passed by commission last year for the 2025 and has been amended in the past, and we're asking that it be amended tonight according to this request. So it's an entirely different appropriation. This is actually what's in effect, the legal amount that we're allowed to spend for 2025. The resolution that we brought on the tax budget last time was just providing that tax budget to the county, and that was a draft ordinance which will be worked on as we go through the budget process. We're actually beginning it now and over the next couple of months, and that information will be brought to commission in an ordinance that will be passed just before year end, finalized, and that will be our actual legal numbers that we'll spend in 2026. So the two are not connected, and that's why the numbers look a lot different.
Okay. Any other questions from commission?
Yeah, on section 7, let's see, where is it? Oh, okay. For capital outlay, it goes from $132,631. It's increased by $970,000. Now, it does say here, it's to reissue the bond anticipation note in the Lock 9 fund and to pay down the principal as well as the current year interest. So, this is just, we're still counting the cost from something that we already paid to have built?
We borrowed money for that. This is, I believe, paying back that money that we borrowed.
But in the next one, we're borrowing, we're issuing debt to pay off old debt, so.
Because you're not paying off the whole thing.
Right. Anyway, do you have any figures for how, has the city made any money from Lock 9 yet?
Well, the park is actually not designed to make money per se. We have started programs in the park, and there'll be events that may make some money to help offset some of the costs, but the park it's not an enterprise fund.
All right. Wow.
I would point out to my fellow commissioner, based off several of the comments tonight, not everything's about money. And just going to any of the events at Lock 9 this year, you can see the joy that it has brought the community. It has brought visitors to the community, which have knock-on effects for the local businesses. Every day you go past that splash pad, there's tons of kids and families out there. So no, not everything that the city does is about making money. Some of it's about making joy. And I believe Lock 9 has paid a lot of dividends in that respect.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
This is a first reading, and we will leave that and move on to ordinance number O-13-25, a first reading.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $2,830,000 of notes in anticipation of bonds for the purpose of paying the cost of construction, acquisition, and equipping of park improvements, facilities, and appurtenances relating thereto, refunding outstanding notes previously issued in anticipation of such bonds, and paying the related costs of issuance thereof, and declaring an emergency.
So this ordinance is related to what we were just talking about. So in the Lock 9, when we did the Lock 9 project, we borrowed money from the sewer fund to fund that project, and we basically loaned ourselves the money. Now, we could, at some point, go outside and turn that into an actual issuance of bonds, and that's why it's called a one-year note, bond anticipation note. So what we're doing with this ordinance is paying ourselves back, paying the sewer fund back, a principal amount out of the Lock 9 fund. So that project was finished up, and we were left with a sizable chunk of money due to grants that we received. And last year we paid down a couple million on that debt. This year we're paying down $980,000 plus the current year interest. And that was with the leftover funds from the project due to grant funds and so forth. So that pretty much takes care of the money on the project, and that's what we have to do with the money on a project like that, where we issue debt and do a project. Any money that's left over, we have to pay the debt first with that money. So that's what we're doing here. We are asking that this be passed as an emergency, but we expect the commission to do have the 3 readings. And the reason it was emergency was due to the 10-day waiting period for it to go into effect. It'll mature, the note that we have matures on the 24th, and it wouldn't go into effect till the 26th. So that's the reason.
Kim Heisler.
I'm going to say the same thing. Do we really need an emergency? I understand he's asking for it, but we need to learn to start our processes a little bit earlier instead of making things into emergencies and expecting things to happen. So that's my comment.
David Smith.
So I'm going to go ahead and do what you guys won't do and inform everyone here of what you guys agreed to.
David, you have to stay on topic.
Don't
I'm
start.
gonna ask
Don't.
I'm going to ask you, you're being warned that if you don't stay on topic, you're disrupting a public meeting.
A disruption.
These actions violate our rules of conduct. You're warned that continued disruption will lead to commission asking you to leave the meeting.
Violating rules. Okay. You guys are worried about me violating your ordinances, but you guys are violating federal agreements with
Please
judges.
stop your disruption. If you want to talk about ordinance number O-1325, you're more than welcome to talk about it.
Okay. One question before I do that. Are the public comments at the end of the meeting videotaped and recorded? Yes or no? That I kind of need to know. Answer or I'll just do what I'm going to do and you can ban me
Not that
and
I
we'll
know
go
of.
back through the federal stuff again. It's perfectly fine with me. How are we doing? Are you the attorney? Even you won't say
Questions
nothing.
are
That's
to be
amazing.
Questions are to be directed
That's
to the commission.
stunning. The attorney won't even talk. So
I'd say not that I know of.
I'd like to know where she's at. So you might really want to consider what you think you're going to do. In consideration of the promises described below, the undersigned agree to the following. In exchange for the plaintiff's promises herein, the city shall pay the total sum of $50,000 within 30 days of the executed agreement, which shall be allocated as follows. And then there's the payment stuff. Number 2, the city shall provide training to its public officials, city council, on the First Amendment within 6 months of the fully extended agreement. I asked for a FOIA on that. I was given a closed file that's a public document that they want my information for. And I don't have to give it to them for that. They should just hand me what I need, because right now they're violating a FOIA. The United States Constitution shall be posted in the city council chambers within 3 months of the fully executed agreement. As y'all can casually see, back to my left is the Constitution and everything else, which was not in here until a couple weeks ago, after they posted it out there in the hallway where it's not supposed to be, because these people did not read the agreement. The one individual that did took it upon himself to do whatever he thought was right and he could get away with. Wrong. And you know where you're sitting, to my right. Upon approval by the city council, the city shall, A, remove the city residency requirement from the council rules. So last time I spoke, when my residency was an issue, and you live outside the city limits, and your residency is an issue, it's no longer that way. Come in here and talk. You ain't got to tell them nothing. Allow individuals to have signs that do not exceed 8.5 by 11 and are not displayed in a way that obstructs the view of any other individual attending the meeting or any camera recording the meeting. Change its rules to extend the allotted speaking time and public comment portions of the meeting to 7 minutes. If a council member comments during the individual's comment time, the time taken away for any comments by a council member shall not be deleted from the individual's allotted 7 minutes that they receive their full allotted time. The parties acknowledge that the trespass orders were removed by the city on April 16, 2024. Plans hereby expressly and unconditionally release all claims against the city of Piqua, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the things that you guys are doing by asking for everybody's addresses, you can't do that. You know it, you're still doing it. If you haven't read it, I read it to you, now you can't complain ignorance. So that little pull, what's the name over here head over top of you about you guys not knowing this stuff, you might really want to reconsider what you're doing to the people that live here, because some of us tend to know the law a lot better than your lawyers do. You found that out the first time with me, you don't want to find out a second. This time I will involve everyone in the city that you violate. You didn't like paying $50, you're going to hate paying a hell of a lot more than that. Get your acts together, follow the Constitution, and show these people in the city some respect. All of you. I wouldn't have came back here had y'all just done what you said you would do instead of lying to everybody like you do. How you sit there and do this and look everybody straight in the face, say that Pledge of Allegiance, and swear an oath to the Constitution is absolutely disgusting. You should know better. You've done it a few times. Get your acts together.
Thank you. Your time is up. Valerie Mulligan.
Good evening. I was wanting to ask a question, and that is, how much money is still owed on the Lock 9 project? How much money did we borrow as a city for the Lock 9 project that is still owed both to the utility fund and to any other private funding institutions?
Questions are asked to the commission. We'll ask them.
Okay, so I'd like to know that. That's my first question so that I can go on with further comment. Can I get that information, please?
We're going to ask after you ask all your questions.
Okay, so I was before you guys 3 years ago. I actually presented a book to our city manager, the Voinovich book on public-private partnerships, because I was deeply concerned about the amount of money exchanging hands for the Lock 9 project. I was also deeply concerned about borrowing money from a utility fund, especially when I see a resolution on the agenda tonight to fix High Street and Sunset. I was blown away at the information I learned about that today. I understand that Lock 9 brings a lot of joy, and I have enjoyed Lock 9. So I don't want you to think that I do not appreciate that park. What I am deeply concerned about is that there was no direct usage of public-private partnerships in funding that, so that we didn't have to borrow from utility funds, so that we could make something great happen there as a community as a whole. I appreciate that grants were secured. I appreciate that the Trevino family gave a sizable amount of money towards the pavilion, but I am deeply concerned that we are making bad choices in borrowing from utility funds when our community is blighted. Our community has a lot of struggles financially based on the population that lives here. We have an older population that pays less and less tax. We have one company that pays the most taxes in this town, and they could pick up and move any day of the week that they choose. And you all know that. If we do not get smarter and work smarter, not harder, and don't take money from funds that we shouldn't be touching. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not touching my emergency fund to fix my plumbing in my house because I want a gazebo in my backyard. That's just not good financial management. And that's in essence what happened here. This deeply concerns me. I brought this to your attention 3 years ago. I'm bringing it back to the table again today, and I highly recommend that we get our city leaders trained in public-private partnerships. It's important. We have a beautiful pavilion out at Fountain Park that needs to be restored. Public-private partnerships can make that happen. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of work and telling the story. And when you tell the story, people give generously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Val.
How much did we owe on Lock 9 altogether?
We originally borrowed $5.8 million. Last year, we paid back $2 million of that. This time, we're paying back $980,000. So the balance left on that note is $2,830,000. I will mention that manuscript debt, which is the official name for it, borrowing from other funds like we did, that is one of the tools that's available to municipalities for funding projects. It's not that to say that we shouldn't have taken it from that fund is not correct. If we were spending money from that fund for other expenditures directly out of that fund, that would be improper. But to borrow money officially through a manuscript debt issuance is permissible, it was legal, and it's one of the tools available to municipalities for funding projects.
Any other questions from commission?
Just a comment, the debt issuance, again, kind of borrowing from ourselves, and yes, as you pointed out, it's probably not a good idea to borrow from your own emergency fund, but it was a calculated risk at the time, and I think that the answer to that risk, having happened already, is to continue paying it back. And so I'd encourage the citizens to continue watching every year to make sure that this number is going down. I'm glad that we're paying back almost $1 million this year and paid back $2 million last year. That helps start mitigating some of that risk and correcting that.
Commissioners, another point that I might add is borrowing this money, as I said earlier, we could issue bonds for this, official bonds, and go out into the market. The difference from borrowing from ourselves and borrowing from others is we're actually paying back the interest to ourselves. So the cash, none of the cash is actually leaving the city. If we borrow bonds, then we would be paying interest and the principal and interest to someone else. So in that regard, we're saving the interest money. That may be something that we consider in the future, whether that makes sense to issue bonds or not, but for now, that is a point. So we haven't actually spent interest money leaving, out of the city.
So one question, how long, ballpark it, I don't want an exact date and time, how long before we're done having these discussions about Lot 9? Like when is it, how long until it's paid off?
Well, I think that is what we're going to have to look at in the future is what makes the most sense. The amounts that we paid back were what was left over from the project itself, and as I said, that was we did accumulate some cash, from grants. So we'll have to start looking at what we can afford to pay back and build that into the budget moving forward. And that's why I said we'll have to look at, does it make sense to issue bonds or not? Or so in the future, we're going to have to look at what makes the most sense on paying that back. So I don't have a number at this time. We're going to have those discussions.
Any other comments?
Why not? Jerry, how long has Lock 9 been officially open?
1 year and 1 month.
1 year and 1 month. And I don't claim to be a mathematician, nor was I a math major in college, but my Piqua High School education tells me that within 1 year and 1 month of opening of Lock 9, we have paid half of it off. Is that factual?
Yes, that would be, yes, that's accurate.
And what I understood based off of your explanation is that in order to get us to this point, the financing model and the cap stack that you put together has been the most advantageous, beneficial, and cheapest route for the city of Piqua in order to maximize those dollars to create the entity that is Lock 9. Is that a factual statement?
Yes, at the time that.
Hey, Jerry, we've been here long enough already. It's a simple yes or no question, please.
Yes.
Thank you. So, Mayor, I'm sitting up here and listening to everyone, and I'm kind of at a loss for words here as to why this discussion is ongoing about a simple ordinance to do an accounting procedure on a project that 1 year and 1 month is already halfway paid off. And as Commissioner Homan stated earlier in his comments, that anytime there's an event there, or even when there's not an event there, that the overwhelming majority of the public, the citizens of the city of Piqua, and from the surrounding communities are utilizing and taking advantage of. I'm at a loss for words, and I yield back.
Thank you. Excuse me, you gotta be quiet, please. All right, this is a first reading, and we will move on to ordinance number O-14-25.
An ordinance authorizing the establishment of the 2025 Bonds Capital Projects Fund.
Mayor and Commissioners, this ordinance is to establish a capital projects fund. We are looking at, we have several projects that we're looking at funding. We're working on putting together a package and bringing to commission to issue bonds. This capital projects fund would be the fund that the proceeds would be posted into to do the project from. Because when you issue bonds, you have to have a special fund to put it in, put the proceeds in. So that this ordinance establishes that fund to prepare it for, so we have it ready at that time. We'll be bringing that legislation forth very soon, most likely next meeting.
There's no public comment cards for this ordinance. Commission have any comments? No. For the capital projects, and that's different than the CIP?
Well, that's what we're talking about. Capital projects are, projects, long-lasting projects.
Sure, that's fine. That's what I needed to know.
Okay. All right.
And is Hance Pavilion listed as one of those capital projects?
It is not at this time, but nothing is set in stone on this yet. We're still working on that.
Okay. Any other commission comment? All right, that's a first reading then. Next on our agenda is resolution number R-89-25.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for engineering services with Fishbeck for smoke testing services, Phase 4.
Good evening, Commissioners. This smoke testing will be Phase 4 of 5, scheduled to finish off the whole city. We started in the southern area, went out by Pittsburgher, did downtown last year. This round we'll be doing basically everything west of the bike path and the lakes, and then north of the other bike path that goes out to Covington, so the northwest quadrant of the city, and then the Shawnee region. This is the largest, this will be the largest of the 5 batches we do, and this is the first one, I believe, that's gone over $75,000 to bring to commission for approval. It is expected to cost $129,400, and we'll have one more round after this to finish the whole city, and that will lead to sanitary and/or storm projects for repairs and replacements in 2027, hopefully. I'll take any questions.
There's no public comment cards for this. Any comments, questions from commission?
Yeah, of the previous phases of smoke testing, I think you had just mentioned that the follow-up to this will be remediating the cross connects that were found. Have any of the previous cross connects been remediated yet, or is that going to be all one?
There has been a few we've done in-house. One I can think of offhand is South and Orr, I believe. All 4 stormwater gutters there were kept off to not go into the sanitary. We have a big stormwater project we're planning next year from our manhole inspections that we came to you with a month or so ago. There is some stuff we found from the smoke testing that will be fixed in that project next year. So yes, it is, it may not show up in the 2027 project. Some of it is going to be done in 2026. Some of this initial stuff we found that was just cross-connected.
In the previous phases, has the number of cross connects been more than expected, about what expected, less than expected?
There's been a lot of them, so I'd say it's for the older parts where you have 100-year-old sewers and people tying in before there were any codes or ordinances or building standards in our city. People just tied into wherever, and we found a lot of that in the older areas. We're hoping maybe out in the newer areas out in the northwest, we don't find as much, but then you run into other problems like sump pumps and people hooking in their downspouts. So we don't know. We might find some different stuff in the residential area up there.
And to be clear about the importance of this, what we're trying to prevent is every time we have a heavy rain is doing the water treatment process on a bunch of rainwater that doesn't need to be treated. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, our average flow for the year is 4 million at the wastewater plant, and probably 1 million of that is from these cross connections. So if you take 1 million gallons a day that we are pumping, sometimes once, sometimes twice, treating it, adding in with all our other waste that come to us, it is a good practice, and it will hopefully keep the capacity of our plant ready for expansion in the future.
With that said, any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion then.
I would move the approval of resolution number R-89-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
One opposed. Thanks, Paul. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-90-25.
A resolution for paving, rehabilitation, and restoration work with Tycon Paving, Inc.
Yes, Commissioners, in 2024, we went out for contracts for bidding for 3 years. We had 3 people bring in bids to us. We chose Tycon. This work that they do, anytime we make a hole in pavement, we have to replace it. So when we do our lead service line inspections, we fix a manhole, we have a water main break, we repair that. So this is an accumulation of that, and we have them under contract to come and fix those. I think probably a lot of you noticed on Nicklin, there was gravel there for a while, and then that got paved about last month. So that's what Tycon's doing for us after the fact, after we punch all these holes and fix all this infrastructure. They come through in one full swoop or 2 a year, depending on how often we need them, and fix them all. It's a economy of scales for them. Instead of us running out to get asphalt or cement every single time we make a hole, we let them build up for a couple months, and then we have them come in and redo them all at once. And this is going to be for $105,000, and this is the first time this is coming to you. This has been going on for years, but this is the first time it's going over $75,000 to bring to your attention in this resolution.
Any comments from commission?
Yeah, speaking of
No public comment cards, sorry.
Speaking of Nicklin and the gravel, I'm glad to hear that we're contracting paving. I'm always for filling in the potholes, and I'm glad that Nicklin was repaved. Just general comment for the future, I think everybody in the city is understanding that sometimes roads need to get dug up for utility replacements and remediation. I would entertain a resolution or ordinance that would cap the number of days that a main street could be unpaved and remain gravel. I believe Nicklin remained gravel for quite a few days, and so I would be interested in a resolution that tries to cap that so that citizens are not driving over gravel for extended periods of time in the future.
Be tougher on your bicycle, too.
It was tough on the bicycle. Tough on fancy cars as well, from what I've heard.
We could discuss that on our potentially newly combined energy and utility board.
I would appreciate that.
You guys have done an awesome job with paving, especially the alleyways. Mr. Kinder's here this evening. You guys helped him out big time. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Brian in the street department has done a lot of alleys the last 2 years, definitely.
All right, no further comment. I'll entertain a recommendation in there.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution R-90-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on. Next on our agenda is resolution number R-91-25.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required for the High Street and Sunset Drive utility project.
Good evening, Commission. Kenton Kaiser, Engineering Manager. This resolution will authorize the city to submit a grant application to the Ohio Public Works Commission for the High Street and Sunset Drive utility project. This project would consist of replacing approximately 6,000 feet of deteriorating water main with a brand-new 16-inch main. Over the last 2 years, in this section of Sunset Drive and High Street, we've had approximately 14 breaks. And this would help dramatically improve the durability of our water system in the western pressure zone in the city of Piqua. Along in this project, we would install a small section of sanitary main and some stormwater infrastructure repairs as well. In Exhibit A, you will see the project location, which is Sunset Drive from High Street to Stratford Drive, and High Street from Sunset Drive west to almost Westview. If this is approved and funding is received, we're looking to go to design in 2026, and construction would be scheduled for the summer of 2027. We are hoping to receive anywhere from $500,000 to $700,000 in grant money from OPWC, and this is a requirement for us to be able to apply for the grant, and that application submission period ends early September. So, you have any questions?
Kim Heisler, public comment.
Kim Heisler, you might have just said this, but it didn't register. I just wanted to make sure, like, I know you said through September, but in here it says executive contract or execute contracts. Are those contracts already set up, or is this something that you get bids for people to actually do that once you get the grant?
Yeah, so it just, I believe, gives the city manager the authorization to enter and accept that grant. We would still have to come forth for, you'll see in the next resolution, things for last year's OPWC grant. We'd still have to come forward, commission for design work and any kind of construction. We'd have to go out for bid, et cetera.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just strongly recommend to get like 3 bids or more instead of choosing, from the Ohio.
Yeah, this is just the committee that we can get grant funding for.
Okay. Yeah,
from.
thanks.
All right. Any comments from commissioners?
What is do you know what about the current age of the parts that are being replaced are?
As Kevin alluded to, maybe 60 to 80 years old. It's first edition ductile iron pipe. It's brittle, and as you can tell, if you drive any of those sections of road, there's been a lot of repairs there in the last couple of years. So it's due time, and it is undersized. We go from a 20-inch down to a 12, down to a 10, back to a 16. So it creates a lot of pressure in that area, and hence a lot of those breaks in its deteriorating age.
What do you know what kind of material it's going to be replaced with, and what kind of the lifespan is of that?
I mean, it's going to be replaced with new age ductile iron, which I'd say 80 to 100 years. I mean, the new ductile iron pipe that we've installed over the last probably 10 to 20 years, we haven't had any issues with that, to my knowledge.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from commission? I'll entertain a motion.
I would move that we approve Resolution R-91-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Nay.
Opposed? One? Okay. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-92-25.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the engineering design of the Marymount Drive utility project.
Good evening once again, Commission. Last year in 2024, this commission authorized us to apply for round 39 of OPWC funding, which we were awarded $500,000 for the Marymount Drive utility project. With receiving this in July 1st of this year, we sent out requests for proposals earlier in July for engineering design work for the Marymount Drive utility project and received submissions on July 29th. In the packet, Exhibit B is Choice One's submission, and they were scored the highest out of the 4 engineering firms that we requested proposals from. And Exhibit A is the project location, which is just the entirety of Marymount Drive off of Park Avenue. This project will consist of replacing all utility infrastructure inside the roadway, all water, main and services, sanitary, and stormwater infrastructure, and will also include the replacement of 2 curb ramps and paving of the street. We budgeted $182,000 for this across 4 different funds and are asking for $125,000, which includes a 10% contingency.
There are no public comment cards for this. Any comments from commission? Having no comment, I need a motion.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution R-92-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Mayor, I'd ask for a roll call vote.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vetter?
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons?
Nay.
Mayor Lee?
Aye.
Commissioner Holman?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBras?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is resolution number R-93-25.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter an agreement with ActiveView Corporation to update Piqua Power Systems SCADA display wall.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. RJ Monier, Power System Director. What's in front of you is a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with ActiveView Corporation to update our SCADA display wall. So what we're talking about is a 3x3 display screen that shows our SCADA system, our system one-line drawing, and other various control software. So ActiveView Corporation would install, design, and maintain the system. This was approved, or it was in front of the Energy Board and recommended unanimously for approval to the City Commission. And I will take questions on that resolution.
Soleil Larkson.
So I attended the Energy Board meeting, and ActiveView is well-known as an international company. Our grid used to be controlled by Piqua. This company will be international. Can't tell from the write-ups whether they're where they really are. They're listed as a foreign corporation because they're at least foreign to Ohio. Who knows where they actually are? They've got 4 offices in America, but the registered agent, it's hard to trace. Once I get it traced, if they're actually from out of this country, that's a big deal. Anyway, I hope you guys know which it is, because you're expected to. Secondly, so that's a big problem. So we did have a grid that we controlled. Now with ActiveView, they're going to implement cybersecurity. So now ActiveView is going to be basically available to look at our grid, to control our grid, just so RJ doesn't have to drive down to the office to check the boards when the electric goes out. And everybody at the board was very much in favor of that. Yeah, we don't want poor RJ paid $150,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year to have to drive down to the office. Good God. Let's not make him do that. This is unconscionable. If you guys pass this, there will be a huge price to pay for all citizens of Piqua. ActiveView is known as a smart city company. If you don't know what that is, you need to look it up. Smart cities are about surveillance. This is a visualization company. What they're going to do is every electric line is going to be viewed from everywhere. So what that means is anybody, anywhere, driving, smoking dope, cracking a crack pipe, driving by, is going to be seen. That's what you want for Piqua. Smart city meets all the parameters of a smart city, right? No cars, can walk everywhere, no pollution, contain it with all the smart grid. That's why the big body cams with the police. We're hiring companies. This is called malfeasance. Let me just help you understand. When you hire companies that right now are working with the federal government, who has billions and trillions of dollars at their disposal, and we have hundreds of millions of dollars here in Piqua, no, this is not okay. They price for that. Oh, they gave us a $43,000 discount. So what? It's $265,000 to outsource our grid. If you want to privatize everything and send it out, where are the firings of the government employees? If you're going to downsize by getting rid of sanitation, you're going to downsize by getting rid of the health board, you're going to downsize by getting rid of Rita, you're going to, and putting it to Rita, sorry, getting rid of the tax department, moving it to Rita. If you're going to get rid of all these services that the government has been providing for decades, I expect to see less than 200 people. I expect to see a lot less than 200 people. Back in 2000, the utility board was actually running a real utility. They actually were running a real utility. Now they just buy and sell power. The solar panels out there were said to be able to help reduce costs to Piqua. I just calculated 3 different bills, and did you know they're double charging every citizen in Piqua? So they cover all their costs, and then they charge them twice more. That's fun. Oh, and then they made the announcement, July and June was hot. Expect your bill to go up. People's bills went up 2.5-fold over last year, where June and July was also a hot month. Are you doing those calculations, guys? I hope you are. Because Vedder, you were there. You hardly said a word. You seem pretty content with cybersecurity, that that's going to help. And Holman, you seem like you know what national security is. Really? Are you qualified to make that statement? I don't think so.
Are you?
I'm not making that statement. You are. And that kind of obnoxiousness is not,
Not what?
it's not appreciated. So as you go down this path, you're setting up a small hometown to be like the big cities that are collapsing all across America. LA, Chicago.
Your time is up.
No, it's still running. Cleveland.
Well, she started it late. Did you not start it late?
A little bit late.
All right.
So when this,
Not trying to cut you off, but your time is up.
you are trying to cut me off.
I'm not.
It's still running.
He started the timer when you started.
If you don't think this is valuable information that
I
you
do.
guys,
Thank you for your comments. Have a seat, please. Thank you. Kim Heisler.
How many bids did we get before we came up with this ActiveView?
So ActiveView Corporation was chosen from a number of companies that submitted bids to the HGAC, which is a Houston Galveston area council.
RJ, if you could wait until we ask you that question. I
Sorry,
think Ms.
yes, thank
Heisler
you.
would like her time back.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. Just you guys. Yeah, so that's very important also, the 3 bids. Because we want to make sure we're getting the right company for what it is that we need to do. I just did just a quick search on ActiveView. This company provides critical technology solutions to the federal government agencies. I don't remember anything saying about municipalities. That's a little bit intimidating. And I have to say, the first time that I went to see ActiveView, and I tried to duplicate it the third and the fourth time, the first and the second time, it came up with a big screen that had military armored vehicles on that front page. It doesn't make any sense, but I typed in SCADA Powerwall, and that's what came up. It's just a little bit intimidating and just doesn't seem like for such a small town who gets awards because our energy and our grid is so good, and when it goes down, it's right back up. Why do we have to spend more money? I understand upgrades have to happen, but why do we have to do a complete different system that is an initiative for a smart city is to have a SCADA wall, video wall. So again, smart city. We're saying we want this for energy, but the excuse me,
Go ahead.
I don't think you guys are
I'm
loud whispering up there.
Yeah, just keep talking.
Okay. So you guys are proposing this now, but they're also well-known for integration, right? So the water's going to probably be connected, the street's going to be connected, all the cameras are going to be, just like the young lady said earlier, everything's going to be connected. It's in alignment with a smart city. We don't need that. I don't want to be monitored. I just don't want that. So with that, right now, we're only talking about the electric. How much, kind of like our software that we're getting rid of Excel, right? And we're bringing in this, this other program that's going to allow us to continually do our job better. We still aren't going to completely get rid of Excel. And we're paying on a yearly basis now, not just to buy the software, but to have just to have and use the software. It's a huge amount of money each year just to have it, times the nodes or however anybody uses it. So this Powerwall, this is just the initial startup. How much does it cost a year? What is going to be our yearly fees? And how much more is it going to cost when we actually add water and street and all this other stuff? And like it was mentioned before, when that happens, because we're taking a lot of jobs away by doing this, are we really saving money? Because it looks like we're going to be paying out a lot more in the long run because we have to pay now per year, plus we have to have people come in that knows the system because it's such a complex system. Most likely that's going to be ActiveView folks that we have to put 24/7 just because of that. Also, you might have already said this, did we receive grant money to be able to get this? Is that how we came across to this specific company? How many jobs will this take the place of when it gets up and running? And also, I attended that meeting also, the presentation of the ActiveView power grid wall. it's really interesting to me that, as mentioned before, Mr. Vedder was there and he didn't have much to say. The city manager was there also. He had 0 words to say. He just sat there, watched, he didn't say anything. When you have presentations like this and you have your public, not your public, but other groups of people in a committee, it's about conversation, it's about communicating, it's about asking questions.
Your
There was a
time's
few.
up. Thank you.
Well, my question is why weren't there questions asked? by the manager?
I'll ask some
Yeah.
questions for you. Jonathan Wessel.
Good evening, Jonathan Wessel, 1820 Eagles Lake Drive. I'm responsible for the SCADA system at my employer. So for those who are not aware, SCADA is the supervisory control and data acquisition system. It's used all kinds of industries, all kinds of municipalities. There's comments made about security. Typically, and hopefully this is the same, the way these systems are set up is that everything's local. However, if you need support, right, you're going to call them up and they're going to help you out. Typically, they're provided VPN access that the city controls. They can turn that off at any time. Last thing I'm going to say is if my power goes out, I don't want RJ to have to drive anywhere, right, to figure that out. Like, I want somebody to know right away, and hopefully we've empowered city employees to help resolve those issues immediately, and these types of systems are what enables them to do that. We have one today. This is simply updating it. You have to do that kind of thing. So I want my power to come back on right away. This is what helps do that. So I encourage you guys to pass this. Thank you.
Thank you. Valerie Mulligan.
I heard a comment a minute ago that that ActiveU is out of Houston, Texas. Is that correct? Out of the Texas area? No, yes, we don't know. The reason I bring that up is because I recently testified before the Public Utilities Commission down in Dayton regarding the increases coming for CenterPoint Energy and for AES and the impact that it will have on the citizens and the community with just the distribution increases that are coming. So in the city of Piqua, we don't have to worry about that with AES, but we do with CenterPoint Energy. Both of those companies are out of Houston, Texas, and those costs are being passed on to the residents local for disasters that those companies handled in other parts of the country. And I would really encourage you guys to look at what you're bringing into the community. I am okay with doing the grid panel that needs to be done to manage our utilities and be able to say, oh, there's the problem on Nicklin Avenue. Let's go fix that and get that power back up. I'm okay with that to a degree, but I am very concerned about these companies that are coming in from significant distance away that have faced financial hardships because of natural disasters in their regions that they're now passing on to the people here. Again, I'll remind you that the City of Piqua residents are an aging population, and the tax revenue is low and weak because of that. And we need to be mindful about who we bring in to run our infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Mayor,
first of all, yeah,
if I
first of
may.
all, is ActiveU out of Houston, Texas?
No. So ActiveU is a corporation that was founded in New York, is headquartered currently in New Jersey.
Thank you.
It is privately held, and it's registered in Delaware, as many large companies do, but it's an American company. The software that it will provide, granted this passage, was fully developed in the United States. There is mention about the ActiveU software sitting on government systems, and that is true. It does. They do contract with the federal government. ActiveU software is trusted to sit on the federal government network and provide SCADA wall display technology to the federal government. I'll mention that because the ActiveView software will sit on our network behind our VPN, as Mr. Wessel alluded to, on our controlled network. There will be no access into or out of that network. You would have to use a VPN to see any of the software. I'll also mention that the display wall is just that. It's not the SCADA system itself. There's no control mechanism, so it's a display wall. The software is a one-time purchase. I wanted to mention that as well. So we pay that in the purchase, and then we have a support system, or a support package that goes on through the life of the display wall. So I also mentioned that the display wall sits in our kind of our control center, right? So it's what we come in, we turn it on first thing every day. It's where we're huddled around for if there is a problem. If we're doing switching, if we're managing loads throughout the system, it's what we use to watch as that happens. It's where the base radio is, so we control all the switching mechanisms from this display wall. So it's a very integral part of the operations of the city, and you'll find that across any kind of electric utility.
Okay. The question was asked that we're being double charged. Are citizens being double charged for utilities?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the answer is no, but no, they're not being double charged.
And how much will the SCADA cost per year for us?
So the software purchase is a one-time purchase, and the line item in this quote is the $50,000. So that's the one-time purchase for the software, and you purchase a license. There's no ongoing fees. We also purchase a support package. If we need support above that, there would be charges for that, but we're at a good level that we're very comfortable with, not necessarily needing to go above that level of support.
Was any grant money obtained for that?
No, there's no grant money. This was budgeted for.
And will this take the place of any jobs?
No jobs. It will not take the place of any jobs. It is, as mentioned, a replacement of a video wall board that was there since 2012. Those screens are simply at end of life. The middle one and the 3x3 display wall is kind of fuzzy, and we have to turn it on and off throughout the day. We have to manage around that with what we can see on the display wall. So it's just a replacement of an existing equipment, but no jobs will be replaced. It helps us do our jobs better. And as Mr. Wessel alluded to, you do not want me coming down and doing that, but you do want my managers to come in and see that wall immediately. It helps.
Okay. Any questions from Commission?
And one additional comment, we always have to make sure that we remember that Piqua is a municipally owned power system, which means that the citizens directly profit from that. AES, however, is a utility-owned system where they are responsible to their board, and their chief objective is to make money. And different system in Ohio, and comparing us to AES is just apples, not apples, though apples. It's a different system.
Yeah, and about that making money point, looking at this as one investment to one job that we can eliminate, which is a interesting comment, given that earlier in the night that we were getting berated for having laid people off from the city staff, and now they want it to be laid off. But that's a very narrow view, because the cost savings of, let's say, eliminating a job, which this isn't doing, is so narrow. The real cost savings comes to all the businesses around the community that get to keep their lights on, get to keep their equipment running at what is a record-setting uptime that the Piqua City Grid has. My company is that I work for on my day job is up in Sydney, and we don't have quite as good of a grid up there, and we had quite a power issue 2 months ago, and it was devastating. It cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars in a couple of hours. And so that's the real cost savings, is not necessarily to the city pocketbooks. It is to the citizens, to the businesses, to the community. And there was also a comment made about the aging population that Piqua has. And while that is absolutely true, it's also true that an aging population is much more reliant than any other demographic group on a stable electric supply to continue running medical equipment and to keep the AC on when it does get a little bit warm. And yes, there is a cost to that, and the cost of that uptime for the businesses, for the community members, for that record-setting uptime, the cost of that is investing, continuously investing into making sure that it stays the same. And I just want to also shout out to the electric board. We have a lot of boards and committees in the city. The electric board is, I don't want to say they're my favorite, but they're pretty up there. They have excellent meetings. They run themselves excellent, very professionally. They're all industry leaders in the city, highly knowledgeable. A lot of them have been on that board for years. And if they, again, as chartered by the commission to serve on that board, and we thank them for their volunteer efforts, if their recommendation is that we go forward with this, I'm absolutely in favor of it.
Any other comments from commissioners?
Oh, Mayor, I have one question. RJ, I heard a couple folks reference our grid. I have one simple question for you. If we approve this resolution and this new wall and software is implemented, who will control our grid?
We will control our grid. The software will sit on our system, and we have full control over our grid. We will just have a nice, new, functional way to see the loads on our grid, which we control.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution R-93-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Mayor, I'd like a roll call vote.
Commissioner Vedder,
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons,
Nay.
Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Holman,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBras.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is resolution number R-94-25.
A resolution to transfer ownership of an issued liquor permit from Cordova Ventures, Inc., located at 311 North Main Street, Piqua, Ohio, 45356, to DM Piqua LLC, 311 North Main Street, Piqua, Ohio, 45356.
It's the transfer of an existing liquor permit over at the Subhouse.
There are no public comment cards on this one. Any comments from commissioners?
Chief?
Chief had no problem. Prosecutor had no problem, so. Any comments? Nope. I'll entertain a motion then.
I would move that we adopt resolution R-94-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is resolution number R-95-25.
A resolution to approve the issuance of a liquor permit for Chipotle Mexican Grill of Colorado LLC, Chipotle, store number 5409, located at 902 Scott Street, Piqua, Ohio, 45356.
This is a new liquor permit for the Chipotle, located at Scott Street. No objections from the chief or law department.
There were no public comment cards on this one. I will, any comments from commissioners?
I'm getting hungry.
It totally sounds good, doesn't it?
Mayor, I move that we adopt resolution number R-95-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Beer at Chipotle. All right. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-96-25.
A resolution to approve the issuance of a liquor permit to Hampton Golf, Inc., 308 North Main Street, 4th floor only, Piqua, Ohio, 45356.
This is the issuance of a liquor permit for the 4th floor at Fort Piqua Plaza to Hampton Golf, who's currently managing that floor. No objections on that permit from either police department or the law department.
Kim Heisler.
I just maybe I just don't understand and just need a little bit of clarification. For some reason, it's sticking in my head. Is this the one that we actually put in our name in the city of Piqua, and then we're issuing it back to Hampton Golf? Or, I guess that's one question, write that down.
Okay.
And the other question is, they didn't already have one? Have wedding venues and stuff like that? Or were they actually using the city of Piqua's liquor license?
I'll ask. You're the only person, so I'll ask.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
Well, I think there's probably a third one brewing, but I'll let it go at that. It seems odd because they've been in business for a long time with weddings, and that's about all they do is drink. And I would think that the Hampton Group would have to be the one in charge of that instead of using our liquor license. So, okay, thanks.
Thank you. So was it put in the city's name and then into Hampton Golf?
Yes, this is a transfer. The city maintained a liquor license. There was one for the entire building, and after the tenant in the restaurant space left, it was advised by legal counsel that we divided it into two separate permits, and so we've done that to clean up that issue with the liquor license.
Any questions from commission? No? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution R-96-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-97-25.
A resolution to approve the issuance of a liquor permit to Gill Holding LLC located at 633 West High Street, Piqua, Ohio, 45356.
Yes, this is the issuance of a liquor permit to 633 West High Street. The LLC is the holding company for Family Dollar.
Was there one there before? Do we know?
I believe this is original.
Original.
It does appear to be original, yes. There is not a transfer, so it appears to be the issuance of a new permit number.
Kim Heisler. Kim? Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure. I think the transfer back line went to,
Remember that?
Kroger?
Yeah, the Grissom's, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah,
Gerson's
it went
was
to
in
Kroger.
there before Dollar. There was a liquor store in there, the state liquor store.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
state liquor store in
Right.
there as well.
But it could have expired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim, is that for this one?
Well, no, it's not.
Okay. All right. Any questions from commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution R-97-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the last one for the night is resolution number R-99-25.
A resolution to increase the allocated contractual budget for legal services provided by McCullough, Felger, Fight, and Gutman Company, LPA.
Yes, this is a resolution to increase preemptively a contractual budget for outside legal services to a local firm who's been providing prosecution-based services. My understanding in talking to the law director is that there were a couple of unexpected trials that required preparation. I'm not sure whether they ended up in trials or not, but nevertheless, the trial preparation caused an unexpected increase in the overall expected expense for that with that law firm. And so this is coming before the commission to kind of get ahead of it with the expectation of a slight increase as a result of that.
Kim Heisler.
I guess this is kind of a curious question, but I know you mentioned prosecution prosecution, is that only what they are providing? Is for prosecution, it's not like for representation?
I believe primarily that's what they provide, but I don't have the contract in front of me to tell you if that's the limitation in the contract or not.
Okay, because would they be used like if, like, when we first came in, the battery burn committee, if there was a loss, or if there is a lawsuit or litigation, is that possibly part of what this resolution money might be for?
I can't speak for the city's administration, but I don't believe that was the anticipated usage of that funding.
Okay. Well, I was just curious because it would be a definite conflict of interest if so. So, all right, thank you.
Soleil, Larkson.
So is this firm Frank Patrizio's firm? Because I would remind the council that the people have written documentation that he denied in writing that the battery burn ever occurred. So I would think that that conflict of interest would negate hiring that firm for anything, let alone going forward. So I would have a look at that. Secondly, legal expenses are going up, right? We used to just have Frank. Now we got this guy, we got Jessica, we got Kim. We got lots more legal expenses. We got lawsuits being settled, illegal lawsuits. We've got you guys not making sure that the city gets their constitutional training and that you guys get your constitutional training. And some of these lawsuits are specifically coming against the city because of the negligence of the council and the negligence of the city, because they don't understand the law, because they're not lawyers. But yet they're giving recommendations on ordinances, which are legal and binding. So if they don't understand the Constitution, how can they possibly give you guys ordinances and resolutions of any kind that the people are going to be in favor of? They can't. So I'm wondering why you guys are still receiving any ordinances or resolutions from a city manager who didn't know he needed to take an oath of office for 4 years. That's pretty wow. And yet he puts the citizens down and tells them they don't have the right to opine, uses big words. They don't have the right to opine what he says, because he has 34 years of experience. Ooh, wow. That doesn't sound very impressive to me. At $190,000 a year, I would think he could answer all citizens' questions really easily, because he does have 34 years of experience. Not answer them because he's got 34 years of experience, but make it very easy for him to be able to answer them. So these legal costs that they want to spend more money on, I would think you guys would be saying, what's the problem here? What are we not fixing? Many people have come to these meetings over the last year and told you about the errors, the sloppiness. How you do anything is how you do everything. So that level of slop is throughout the organization. All you have to do is look at some of the ordinances that come through. Like, why is there no 98-25? Why did it skip from 97 to 99? Don't they have a list of ordinances and use them in order? You know, alphabetical order helps people keep control. Numerical helps people keep control. When you ignore those kind of things, things get real sloppy real quick. Then, when they're sloppy long enough, people have a tendency to go, well, you know, I've been sloppy for so long, now I'll just do illegal stuff because nobody notices all my slop. I get to keep my job when I'm sloppy, so how about I just get sloppier? Nobody's paying attention. Council doesn't care. They're not checking up on us. They say, oh, it's just a mistake. Really? How many mistakes do you let your employees make if you have a business before you go, you know what? This isn't working. you don't know what you're doing. You're not paying attention to the details. You're not getting help when you need it. You're not listening to the citizens. You're not listening to the people anymore. Your job is to preserve the peace. When you quit listening, there is no peace. You violated the Constitution every time you violate the peace of the people. Your job is to preserve the peace. When you don't do it, there's a problem.
Thank you. Any comments from commissioners?
Oh, wait, I do, sorry, Mr. Mayor. The one thing I'm seeing missing here is amounts. It's a resolution to increase the allocated contractual budget, but it doesn't say by how much. All it says we want money.
It says not to exceed a total of $90,000 for the calendar year 2025.
Next page.
Oh, on the back, two-sided printing. What do they think of next? Okay.
Mayor, I would just like to put forth my thankfulness on behalf of myself and the rest of the community, or the majority of the community, that the entire city staff and commission is not made up of lawyers. I think that that would cause a lot more problems than it would solve.
You have anything else you want to add?
Yes, sir.
Any other comments from commission? I'll entertain a motion.
I would move the approval of Resolution R-99-25.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
2 opposed. Motion carries. Next on our agenda, city manager's report.
Good evening, Commission. I'd just like to provide a report that we had a successful movie night for the families last weekend at Lock 9. We've also had yoga in the park on several occasions and non-denominational worship that has been very well attended from several churches that get together. This week we have Reflection playing on Friday at 7 p.m. Pink Droid that has a laser light show for anybody that's interested in that will be on Saturday at 7 p.m. So we have 2 concerts this weekend. And a reminder that city offices are closed on Monday, September 1st for Labor Day holiday. That's the end of my report.
All right. Commissioners report. Commissioner Simmons, you can begin.
Hey, good evening, everyone. First of all, I love that I didn't catch that until you just said it. Reflection, I've known those boys since they were kids. When they first started playing guitar.
I knew their mom, yeah.
They're great kids.
Yep.
Let's see, I want to give a shout out to Stonebridge Community Church. They had their food distribution last Saturday. They gave out about 140 boxes of food and filled a number of empty bellies. I'd also like to thank my biggest cheerleader, my darling wife, who decided to come here herself this evening and speak her piece regardless of the effects to her health. She's not supposed to be out and about. So why did she come down? She is as ticked off about recent events as I've been, and more so. I'm not going to steal her thunder. She can speak on her own. Other than that, I do want to reiterate to all the voters that I will remain here for them. And that's because I'm here to fight for you guys. Not these guys, you guys. I didn't have it written in my comments, but it's been brought up by at least 1 or 2 citizens tonight. Mr. City Manager, were you sworn into your job before April or February 4th of this year? Or was that when you were sworn in for your job?
I was sworn in when I started on my first day, and the mayor was at that swearing in.
Do we have any records of that?
I was there, and so was our
No,
ball
I mean
director.
objective printed minutes records.
It's not required, and it was COVID, so it was not broadcast as a city commission event.
Okay. there was a citizen who did a FOIA request, and there's 2 emails in this email chain. One is from the mayor, and he's asking you on February 3rd of this year, if you'd been sworn in. And on the return, you said, no, I didn't have that. I didn't know that was a requirement. And you said you had yourself sworn in on the 4th.
We were speaking about the documentation as to whether or not it was signed. That was what we were referring to.
Gotcha, okay. Good to know. I yield back.
Commissioner Holman.
I yield back.
Commissioner Vetter.
Just want to say thank you to the police department and fire department for helping us with the National Night Out Against Crime. Several of us got a chance to ride in the big anti-terrorism vehicle, and others of us chose a different route and got a chance to ride in a new cruiser before it was even equipped. So it was a nice night. We visited 4 sites, and the officer that I rode with was very, very helpful, and I think we had a good time. And the other thing that I found really, really helpful was that at one of the sites, I got a chance to visit with the former city manager, Frank Petruzio. And Frank is now, I think, 90 years old.
90 years old.
As sharp as a tack, and he reminded me of something that I took to heart, and that was that activity as a city commissioner is designed to try to seek the best interest of the city. And I found that very, very helpful, and I enjoyed seeing him again, and I was pleased for everyone's cooperation. So Night Out Against Crime was very successful.
Great.
Yield.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have a couple things tonight. The first is, I'm sure some of you have seen, but for those who have not, this Sunday, August 24th from 1 to 4, the Power Project will be hosting a back-to-school bash for all students that live in Piqua and all Piqua City Schools staff and their families. The event is much more than free backpacks. It's about coming together as a community to celebrate the upcoming school year and to fill each other up. They have far too many numerous sponsors here for me to rattle off. But there are going to be lots of events, activities, and also things, backpacks, shoes, haircuts for those who need at Lock 9 this Sunday from 1 to 4. If you have any questions about that, reach out to Shelly Mitchell out at the high school. She is there in the office during normal business hours. The second thing that I have for you is Jeff Lang was with us earlier but had to leave due to his responsibilities as a township trustee. But his group did their annual cleanup of the river. They went out on July 19th. He said they did a total of 6,060 pounds of items, junk that they removed from the river. There were 52 tires at 20 pounds each, and that totaled to a little over 1,000 pounds of that 6,000 total. This is my favorite part of this. A few of the interesting items they found: a double recliner, a water softener, a corrugated pipe, plate glass windows, a brand new tractor tire, let's see here, 3 barbecue grills, and 4 trampoline mats. The other note he left for me is that since the beginning, they've been doing this now for, I believe, over 20 years. They have removed 222,000 pounds of junk from the river, 2,100 tires, and just a huge thank you to he and his group who do that every year, who go out and help clean up our stretch of the Great Miami River. And then my last is a thank you. First off to Chief Adams for allowing my daughter and I to tag along with the fire department on National Night Out. While I was there at the fire station waiting to go, I'd also like to thank a fellow Piqua alum, and while not classmate, we were only a year apart, Assistant Chief Chris Black, for giving me and my daughter Liv a tour of the firehouse and the trucks and the equipment that they have there while we were there. And it's great to see that he was recently promoted to Assistant Chief, and we're lucky to have Chris here at the department. And then my huge thank you on this particular one is to firefighters Moss, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Ida Miller. They were the two who got stuck with us, tagging along with them for the evening. And we got to see a true firsthand experience of what they go through as we were detoured from our routes to go with them on a call. And just want to thank them for not only their professionalism and allowing us to tag along, but for what they do for our community and the manner in which they do it. They are truly professionals and are individuals that we can certainly be proud of. So a huge thank you to them for letting us tag along. And I'll yield back.
All right. I have no comments, and this time.
No, I yield.
Yeah, he yielded. Got to pay attention. At this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn, and then we'll go straight into non-agenda public comment.
Mayor, I'd move that we adjourn from the business agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Can I fill my water?
You can go fill your water. I gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yes, I'm teaching at the Police Academy tonight. And so,
These pictures
I'm
of
out.
good.
Yes.